What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Bartz's rework and the debut of his LD and burst weapons coming soon to Global Opera Omnia. But first, before we talk about that, if you guys are brand new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you guys are not missing out on future uploads. And if you guys enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that like button and share this video, as it does help me out. Don't forget, as always, to check out all of the fantastic resources out there for Opera Omnia. Links will be down below in the video description as well as the pinned comments. And last but not least, don't forget to check out all of the rest of the fantastic content creators for this game. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Bartz's rework and the debut of his LD and burst weapons. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and talk about Bartz's rework as well as the debut of his LD and burst weapons. Something that I do want to point out before we actually get into that is that the animation, or rather the damage that you're going to be seeing from his finished burst, is going to be his burst plus version of it, because on JP and on my JP account, I did take the opportunity to fully burst plus his weapon. So the damage output is obviously going to be higher in this demonstration, but it's still going to be the same animation, all that good stuff. So just keep in mind that's what you're going to be seeing on this video. Now to do this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and go right into the burst phase, so then that way we're not getting interrupted by the enemies. Okay, so Bartz's rework, we're going to start off with his skill 1 Doublehand. With the rework, it's going to get one more usage. It's going to be healing his own Brave now by 70% of his attack before attacking, and both versions now deliver 5 Brave hits. It deals 50% HP splash damage for both versions. Doublehand Base now has 120% Stolen Brave Overflow and also grants Bartz a new buff called Adventurous Heart for 5 turns. And Doublehand Plus now has 150% Stolen Brave Overflow and grants Bartz Adventurous Heart for 7 turns. This new buff is going to be increasing his own max Brave by 60% and his speed by 20%. It's going to give him a self-wind enchant, and all enemies, as long as this buff is active, are going to be automatically weak to the wind element. So it's a wind imperil in the form of an aura that's attached to a buff. That's pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and take a look at Doublehand here. There you go. Alright, enemies here are doing their thing. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and move on to his skill 2 Missile. So with the rework, he's going to get 2 more additional usage. Both Missile and Missile Plus are now a 2-hit melee Brave attack plus HP attack. He's going to heal the party's Brave by 30% of max Brave, and then do another 2-hit melee Brave attack plus HP attack. It's now going to deal 20% HP splash damage. Missile Base version has a 120% Stolen Brave Overflow, also granting Bartz Adventurous Heart for 5 turns, and Missile Plus now has 150% Stolen Brave Overflow and grants Bartz Adventurous Heart for 7 turns. So let's go ahead and take a look at Missile now. There we go. As you see, he does 2 HP dumps now. In between it, he does do a Brave battery to the party, which is pretty cool. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about his LD, which is going to be his brand new weapon and brand new skill. So his LD, assuming that you fully max limit broke it and with LD boards unlocked, is going to grant him access to his LD skill called Elemental Attack that has 3 total uses. This is going to be permanently increasing his own max brave by 30% and his attack by 60%. He's going to be starting the quest with a special effect called Lucky Charm for 6 turns. He's going to be reducing all enemy brave to 0 unless they're already broken. He's going to be healing the party's brave by 30% of max brave, and then he delivers a 6-hit wind AoE melee brave attack plus AoE HP attack delivered twice. This has 200% stolen brave overflow, dealing split HP damage, and it's going to grant his special effect Lucky Charm for 12 turns. Now that Lucky Charm effect, the effects of what it does is it increases the party's attack by 30%, the party's brave damage dealt by 20%, and the party's stolen and gained brain overflow by 20%. And for Bartz, it's going to be increasing his own HP damage dealt by 20%, the HP damage he deals to non-targets by 30%, the brave damage he deals by 40%, and when he's attacking an enemy's elemental weakness, the brave damage he deals by 30%, and he also extends his granted buff's duration by 2 turns. Now, while Lucky Charm is active, it's also going to grant him access to his Brave Attack++. What this does is it reduces the target's brave by 20%. It also delivers a 3-hit wind melee brave attack plus HP attack, and it heals the party's brave by 20% of HP damage dealt and by 70% of attack. So let's go ahead and take a look at his LD skill here. There we go, so 2 HP dumps. And then because we have Lucky Charm active, we get his Brave Attack++, so let's take a look at it here. So we get those 2 batteries. And then let's just go ahead and use his LDs. I mean his EX. Which I still think is one of the most lackluster animations for an EX in the game, but it's what it is, you know? All right, let's go back into that Brave Attack ++. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and talk about the Finish Burst. So, the Finish Burst, it's called Quick Spell Blade Dual Wield Rapid Fire. That's a tongue twister. So, the Finish Burst is going to be delivering an 8-hit Wind AoE Melee Brave Attack plus AoE HP attack delivered twice with 60% increased Brave damage dealt on a single target. This has split HP damage. It has 20% maximum Brave damage limit up to 11,998 and 20% maximum obtainable Brave and HP damage limit up to 119,998. Now, the selling point of this burst is going to be that burst effect, the party-wide burst effect. So this has an 8-turn duration, and there's 3 levels to it. Level 1 increases max brave and attack by 30%. Level 2 increases brave damage dealt by 30% and maximum brave damage limit by 20% up to 11,998. And level 3, which is the final level, increases HP damage dealt by 20% and also heals brave by 50% of HP damage dealt once per turn, and these levels will increase whenever Bartz takes a turn up to level 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at that here. So again, remember, this is the Burst Plus version, so it's obviously going to do way more damage than it will be than when it comes out on Global initially, but later on, like I said, Bartz does get a Burst Plus. All right, so what I'm actually going to go ahead and do now is let's go ahead and see that burst effect in action. So right now it's at level 1, so with Warrior of Light here, we're just going to use his LD to apply this. And then with Paladin Cecil, let's drop the LD. Very cool. So now we get a chance now to act with Bartz. So let's just go ahead and use Missile Plus now. And you're going to see that the burst effect is going to increase in level. So remember, level 1, we get the attack and max brave increase. And then at level 2, we're going to get the brave damage dealt increase, as well as the maximum brave damage limit up to the party. So with Cecil, let's go ahead. You know what? We're just going to go into his skill 2. This is just a demo. And I want you guys to see the level 3. The level 3 is where I really want to make a point as to why this LD is so good. So I'm just going to waste another LD skill with Wall, just in case these guys want to HP attack. Alright, let's just LD again. Right. Okay, so now it's time for Bartz to act again. Just for fun, we're just going to use his LD again. There we go. Okay, so now that we have it at level 3, check this out. Okay, check this out. So remember, at level 3, we get the increased HP damage dealt for the party, and also that huge Brave refund based on 50% of HP damage dealt. So take a look at this. This is crazy. Look how much Brave we got back from that. That's like Camlonaut's LD call, but like on steroids, and it's in the form of a party-wide burst aura. That is insanely powerful, which is a reason why Bartz has garnered a lot of hype and a lot of anticipation for Global Opera Omnia. Now, his calls are going to be his skill 2 missile is his base call. This grants the caller the wind element enchant and also makes enemies weak to the wind element for 6 turns. And his LD call uses his LD skill elemental attack, increasing the party's attack by 30%, Brave damage dealt by 20%, and stolen and gain Brave overflow by 20% for 6 turns. Recommended artifact passives are pretty simple. You want 3 copies of Attack plus 108 and 3 copies of Simple Mastery Boost 2-star. His HG armor with MLB and Realization is going to be the one where it has Brave damage dealt by the party, can exceed the limit of 9,999 by 5%, up to 10,498. Bartz's own Brave damage dealt can exceed the limit of 9,999 by 12%, up to 13,498, and Bartz's own held Brave and HP damage dealt can exceed the limit of 99,999 by 4%, up to 119,998. So with all this said and done, and taking a look at what Bartz brings to the table with his rework, LD, and Burst, what are my personal thoughts or personal take on this character? So with his new gear and rework, he's become an outstanding unit with fantastic auras and great utility. His new buff from his rework is fantastic, as it automatically makes enemies vulnerable to wind, and his ability to battery the party with almost every skill he possesses and the gravity effects he carries are very useful for a lot of difficult content. That being said, there is a very big difference between LD-only Bartz and Bartz with LD and Burst. I personally think that he needs his entire kit, including his Burst, to really see the value that he brings. The level 3 portion of that burst effect, I just showed it to you guys, is extremely potent because that Brave refund by a whopping 50% of HP damage dealt is a huge deal. And what this does is it effectively gives your party a cushion and it'll make it easier to be more effective from an offensive standpoint. So imagine like having that burst effect active and using a character, for example, like Terra, going into her LD and just wrecking, enemies with her LD, and all while recovering all of that Brave. So then that way, every time she's like doing an attack, she's gonna be hitting max Brave cap constantly and getting those overflows, getting that, excess HP damage. It's gonna be crazy, and this applies, to your entire party. And the thing about Bartz is that since he's a slower character and he just has to act essentially 2 more times after he activates the burst effect, you can actually take advantage of that burst effect being at level 3 for a significant amount of time. So he's an awesome unit, but remember, there is a clear difference between Bartz without burst and Bartz with burst. If you're going to use Bartz and you're going to invest in Bartz, you probably want to go for his entire kit. That being said, this the banners that are going to be coming out that do feature Bartz's burst are all fantastic banners, and I know a lot of people are recommending, and I personally also recommend that if you are going to gun for his burst, hold off on the initial banners, and I would wait for the Tifa banner because Tifa's LD weapon is absolutely amazing. But I myself am definitely going to be pulling and investing for Bartz. I personally recommend that you do so. However, it is entirely up to your resources and just how much value you see that this character brings for your party. So that's my personal take on Bartz. I think he's awesome. Great auras. He does need that burst though, guys. So just keep that in mind, that if you want to enjoy Bartz to his maximum potential and to why he's garnering so much hype, you're going to want that burst weapon. Now, speaking of the banners that come out initially with his Burst and LD release, the first one is going to have his Burst, his LD, his EX 35 and 15, and then 2, unfortunately at the moment in time in Global, very lackluster characters unless they get their Global first LD somehow, which is Steiner and Seymour. I'm sorry, Masalento, but your boy needs some upgrades. And then Banner 2 is going to feature Bartz's BT, and then a returning LD with Penelo alongside her EX 35 and 15. And then Saiyan and Zell are also on this banner with their EXs up to 15 CP. I know there's a few people in the community that love to run Saiyan to like difficult content just to have some fun and kind of show how the character can handle some Lufenias with 2 other characters carrying him. And then Zell in Global right now is still a meme until he gets his LD weapon, which is going to be coming out, I want to say like a month or 2 months from now. He's going to get his LD or something like that and his rework, but if you're missing Zell and Saiyan, and while you're pulling for Bartz's gear, you could potentially get some of their gear here that you are missing. But all in all, guys, Bartz is awesome. There's a reason why a lot of people are excited for him. He's awesome utility, awesome auras. That level 3 burst effect is just insane with the 50%, HP damage dealt being refunded to you as your Brave after you deal HP damage. Like I said, it's pretty much like Camelot's LD effect, except on steroids, and it comes from the burst effect aura, which is insanely powerful. So very, very good character overall. All right, guys, well, this is going to go ahead and conclude my video for Bartz. Hopefully you found this helpful. Thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for my next video, and mahalo, everyone.